All right, setting up here. Give me a couple seconds to get things into motion, make certain where everything needs to be at this point. It is Tuesday evening. All right, we are live. Everything appears to be working for right now. So, first of all, thanks for joining us. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Let's shed some light on the subject here. My remote control will work. It is Tuesday. It is decently mild outside. A very pleasant evening underway in downtown Chattanooga, which is where we're coming from. So if you have any plans for outdoors, you won't need the umbrella for tonight. You probably will need it again in the next couple of days as we see the potential for some more showers and thunderstorms to be heading back our direction. Not much, but at least we're getting something out there for right now. Into the next day or two. Also, some hotter weather. No advisories for us yet. Hopefully, it stays that way where it comes to heat and humidity. But we could be seeing again some more activity through the rest of the weekend. And by next week, 1 week from tonight, the fireworks will be going off. And that again could be giving us the potential of some problems. So we'll keep our eyes on that and have those details for you in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and get going for this evening. We got a decent amount to talk about. The tropics, we got the heat going on. We've got all sorts of things happening. Taking a look right now from the News 12 studios, just barely able to see a little bit of sunset light, a little bit left over there. Probably should be able to see a little bit more, almost a little bit from Lee Point, looking back to the west for this evening. Some beautiful conditions out there for right now. From the Island Cove Marina and Resort camera, Sylvester the Spider hanging out on the camera lens. And otherwise looking at a beautiful evening. Looks like some fireworks going off out there somewhere over the water, looking north-northeast from Island Cove Marina and Resort. And again, that's looking back to the northeast for this evening. News 12 studios from downtown looking pretty good. Let's go back to the downtown camera. I don't think we've seen that one yet. Pretty well able to see Lookout Mountain for this evening, but more haze will be coming our direction in the next couple of days, so maybe interfering with vision by just a little bit. And from Chattanooga Red Wolf Stadium, 2475, very smooth traffic this evening. Haven't been seeing much of a lot of anything in the way of traffic jams out there. Temperatures as we approach 10 o'clock, very warm, back in the lower 80s, winds northwest at about 3, and seeing good visibility for now. Shouldn't be seeing too much in the way of a major problem again for later on tonight, but more smoke from those wildfires could be doing some visibility damage out there. Normal for this day, this is the day where we go over the 90-degree mark for normal temperatures. From here on out, right on in through late September is about where we stay on that level. 89 was our high, didn't even make 90 degrees today. I thought we would with enough sunshine, but looks like we stayed a little bit closer to that level. We did pretty good on the rainfall amounts for the weekend, which brought us up to a surplus for the month. That's excuse me, over 5 inches right there. Allergies are playing heck with me tonight, so pardon by clearing my throat just a few extra times. Again, we're still behind for the year on rainfall. Could use a little bit more, but not seeing anything for right now. 102, the record high, last set back in 1952. And seeing, again, it's been, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and I did the math correctly earlier tonight, we have not seen a temperature over 100 degrees since 2019 in Chattanooga, but I'll have to double check that, so don't quote me on that for right now. Yesterday, a nice shocking picture of some lightning. Today, a little bit more pastoral out there. Thank you very much, Ken Gauthaman, hope I'm saying that correctly, for a visitor to the yard for some breakfast. That's our West Shore Home weather window picture of the day. Very nice shot there. And if you've got pictures, again, please send them in to us. Drop them to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or again, just email them to us at pictures@wdef.com. And yours could be the next West Shore Home weather window picture of the day. Tomorrow, average for Wednesday, hot winds out of the west-northwest, about 5 miles per hour, and not seeing a huge difference in time for the best potential to catch a fish. Out on the golf course, it is going to be very warm for midweek. Temperatures in the lower 90s. Winds nowhere near as breezy as they were today, so not too much of a slice or a hook to worry about, at least for right now. Temperatures near 10 o'clock Eastern time, still very warm back over to the Mississippi Valley, back over to around the left-hand side of your screen there, and also in the middle parts of Tennessee. back in the mid-80s toward the Nashville airport area. Through the rest of the next couple of days, we are going to be seeing a lot of heat. That heat dome that's been going on into and around the south central United States, all of that heat from here is moving this direction. So we'll be seeing a lot more warm air coming through south of St. Louis and down to the Crescent City. Some heat index temperatures, that's where you get the heat index. You can take the regular air temperature plus, again, the amount of moisture in the air, combine that, and you've got a feels like index to give you an idea as to what it feels like out there with the conditions out there. It is a real thing. Don't email me and tell me that it's not, because the National Weather Service has all the formulas written down for stuff like that. Several years ago, the National Weather Service started issuing freezing fog advisories, and we got, back in Memphis, we got lambasted by people who were just totally adamant that we were saying, oh, you're just making that up for ratings purposes. There is no such thing. It's like, yes, there is. It does exist. Please don't tell me it's not, because you're going to be wasting both of our time. So, again, it is a real thing. And in parts of Texas and Louisiana over the next couple of days, heat index temperatures, normal air temperatures in the upper 90s to lower 100s, combined with humidity coming in from off the Gulf of Mexico, that feels like temperature in some places will be 120 plus. So some very heavy amounts of heat coming on through. Now, I want to reiterate, excuse me, that as of right now, there are no heat advisories in effect for the News 12 viewing area, but it comes right to our doorstep for parts of north central Alabama and middle Tennessee, back again on either side of I-65. But for us, we do not have any counties in the viewing area under a watch, warning, or advisory at this time. Now that, again, could change depending on how potent that heat gets. So what are we looking at for right now? Well, for the temperatures, again, in the purple shaded counties, this is where we've been seeing the really, really, really hot numbers. New Mexico all the way back over to New Orleans. We go a little farther again for the next couple of days, really blazingly hot, all the way up into parts of Kansas for Wednesday. And then Thursday's highs start to go across the Mississippi Valley, so St. Louis, Memphis, down toward New Orleans. As we get to around Friday, that's where we see that really hot area temperatures start to wander on through, but it does not look like it's going to be major league problems for us as 100 degrees plus. Close to it, yes, but not quite, and it looks like we're going to be up there in the 90s at least, but the heat dome starts to break up a little bit. There'll be remnants of it moving over this area, so expecting, again, those very hot conditions out there through the rest of the week and into the weekend from what it looks like for right now. On the maps, what we have, again, for tonight is basically our area of low pressure from before. It is now making its way up to the north and to the east. Now, the good news is, again, with the counterclockwise swirl, this may pick up some scattered light showers, maybe some thunderstorms, maybe some heavy rain, and move it across Ontario and Quebec, which is exactly where that rain is needed for those massive wildfires taking place, which is sending, again, with that area of low pressure rotation, making its way down this direction, some more smoke heading our way. Doesn't look as bad as it was about a month ago, but it could be, again, a bit of a situation there. We'll show you that coming up in just a little bit. Tomorrow, we'll see that heat head our direction, and back to the west of us, we have our next developing storm system. It looks like a bit of a mess out here as everything's kind of jammed up, moving this way thanks to high pressure and the jet stream interfering. But this is our next system, and this is where we will see the potential for more problems. Now, overnight into tomorrow, Wednesday morning, lows not that low, mid to high 60s at best. Lower 90s possible through tomorrow afternoon. It looks like there might be a bit of a disturbance coming through North Alabama and Middle Tennessee, but confidence is not high at this time to where we see that pushing on through the area. Now, these computer models for right now are showing a cluster of thunderstorms coming on down this direction by Thursday afternoon, and temperatures will take a bit of a tumble if this works. Again, this is only a outlier of several computer models, and this one's showing the chance of thunderstorms by Thursday afternoon. I've got to say at this point in time, I'm not really positive that this is going to hold together in the forecast in the next couple of days, given the fact that we're surrounded by high pressure. So maybe we get this, maybe we get some of this at least, but I'm just not seeing a big amount of anything involving potential of heavier amounts of rain and thunderstorms coming on through. Jeff Peterson, people don't realize heat index is basically the same thing as wind chill. One has temp plus humidity, one is temp plus wind speed. Both are apparent feels like temps. Correct. Yes, that is basically the case depending on what you move that through. I've got this thing here that helps me stay. Sometimes the studio can get a little bit mild, shall we say, so this kind of helps move the air around, but that fan blowing on my skin, that's wind chill. That again is cooling me off. So the combination of the air apparent temperature and again with wind out there, depending on how fast this moves and removes the heat from the surface of my skin more than my body can provide enough of that heat aura to keep me warm, that's wind chill. Heat index is where we see again all that humidity mixed in with the heat, and the more humidity you have, the less easy it is for humidity to evaporate and take that heat away from your skin. If there's tons of humidity out there, it's harder for you to sweat, and therefore you can't cool off as fast. There's a mathematical formula for both of those things, but a lot of people out there seem to think that, it doesn't exist, it's made up for ratings, you're all a part of the big science conspiracy to promote the sale of box fans and ice cubes. In the wintertime, let me just say, in the wintertime, when people accuse me of being in league with grocery stores to make up hype about snowstorms coming in, and we get a kickback from stuff like that, let me just say, I have never been invited to that grocery store meteorologist party. So if it exists, which I doubt, it's not out there, and they're not asking me to the table if in fact that's happening. So all right, one more. Again, look at the temperature drop as that storm system comes on through and cools us off quite nicely. But then we get into around Friday morning, and we still see some muggy conditions, high 60s to lower 70s, and we will see the potential of more showers and thunderstorms. Unfortunately, it looks like by about Friday afternoon, hot, and another chance of thunderstorms back to our north. Excuse me. Heading up this particular direction. Smoke over the area, again, near surface smoke. That's exactly doing exactly what it says on the tin. Smoke hanging just in the lower levels of the atmosphere. The orange and yellow colors, that's the heaviest amount of smoke. And again, it looks like some of this activity here might make its way into the News 12 viewing area, depending on what happens. So we could see some lesser air quality out there as we get into the next few days. This is what has been observed already for the last about 12 hours or so. Now, if we go for the forecast and showing you smoke aloft, or what's called vertical smoke, this is where we see again the potential for this activity. Some of it gets to the area, but not all of it does. So a good portion of it heads down to the Carolinas, which coincidentally there are air quality warnings in that area as the Appalachians and the Great Smokies hold in some of that smoke thanks to the topography. So for right now, that is where we're seeing again the potential for more smoke coming on through. Some of it for our area, yes, but it looks to be short-lived, maybe a day or so, and that's it. And then hopefully that area of low pressure going up this way gets some more moisture up there to hopefully quash some of those fires in Quebec and around the Ontario area. Some of the firefighters up there, the experts have been saying the only thing that's going to take some of these fires down is winter. And that's not a good thing to say, and definitely not a good idea, excuse me, to be traveling right through that area. So for eastern Canada and even the lee of the mountains in western Canada, lots of wildfire smoke going on out here. Not quite as much as it was about a week or so ago, but we could be looking at more of that coming our direction depending on what goes on across much of the western areas of our neighbors to the north. All right, page for the 7-day forecast coming into view, and temperatures again on their way upwards through the upper 90s. Again, I don't think we're talking about record high temperatures, which this time of the year is like 103, 104, 105. Not seeing really close to that, but close enough. And then starting Thursday with that new storm system out west, we will see chances of showers and thunderstorms through asteroid day on Friday. Again, the potential of more showers and thunderstorms, and this is where everything gets a little bit more iffy out there. So we see the potential of better areas of thunderstorms, more clouds, more rainfall. Temperatures knock off, but don't exactly get to be cool, so to speak. And then again on Independence Day, not good timing. We could be looking at the potential of some natural fireworks interfering with the fireworks shows. Don't know if we're going to be seeing anything in the way of any delays or cancellations. Again, this is, again, very far off into the future. The closer we get in time, the better off we'll be able to tell you a little bit more about what's happening. But for right now, from this 7 days ahead vantage point, it is possible that we could see some inclement weather for the parades, neighborhood festivities, what other celebrations are going on out there, and again for the fireworks at night. This could be a close call at the very least. So keep it tuned to News 12. We'll keep you updated on what's going on there. All right, let's journey out to the tropics for a little bit and take a look at what's out there. If you remember Cindy from a couple days ago, it rolled off the west coast of Africa, and then it was a tropical storm, and then kaput. There was nothing else out of this. It basically denigrated into a tropical wave, and that's what it is now, just a collection of showers and thunderstorms out there, but it does still have some structure. So as it moves north, the National Hurricane Center is giving us a 20% chance of redevelopment as it passes Bermuda in the next several days, and if it does continue on that path, looks like Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and that area, the Canadian Maritimes, that's where we will see the potential for now. And there are signs of other stuff going on. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Going in the opposite direction, another ocean away, Adrian has formed in the extreme eastern Pacific, and this has made its way just south of Mexico and heading on off to, it looks like this is going to be making a beeline west and then eventually a curve north before it ever gets close to Hawaii. So this does not appear to be a problem, but remember that other storm we were talking about, Brett? It is still there, and it made its way over, as we talked about last week. It crossed over Central America, and it survived enough to where we may see this system redeveloping here within the next couple of days on this location. And this one looks like it may continue to hug areas north into the next several days. And add to this, this is an old graphic. This has been updated from the National Hurricane Center. We now have a 60% chance of development in the next 2 days and a 90% chance of development, which is why it's, again, red here. So Brett could become the B named storm for the Pacific, and this one might hug the coastline heading up toward the Gulf of California, the Baja Peninsula. Maybe even could be a monsoon flow for moisture way out into the deserts of southwestern United States. So Brett is still alive. It has come back to life pretty well, and that could be, again, a bit of an issue there. Now, two things, again, taking a look at how much energy is out there. Let me alter this just a little bit and take a look. Again, what we're looking at for Brett becoming the B-name storm for the Pacific. This one, it looks like it's going to go right up toward Baja, and then depends on what happens. It looks like it's going to be kind of pacing Adrian. Whether or not it curves back toward the north beyond about a week or so, little early to tell at this point in time. Let me rearrange this real quick. Let's rotate this over a little ways into the back to the Atlantic and show you that we do have some waves of energy coming in from off of Africa, including a pretty stout one over Central Africa, just south of the Sahara. That one could be a bit of an issue, but it doesn't look like we have anything else. Few minor waves coming in from off the coast, but it doesn't look like too much of a problem. What we see is that the storms originate here over Africa. The waves of energy make their way off the coast. They pick up that warm, moist air. They develop that spin. They get that proper amount of wind shear, and that's where a lot of our hurricanes come from, a continent and an ocean away. That's how everything develops. But here's something that might be a little bit more interesting, in that we take a look at how much dust is coming in from off of the Sahara. That dust does a very good job of filtering out the sunshine, and without the sunshine to heat the ocean, the storms, the waves of energy, if they make their way off the coast, do not form that quickly, and they don't develop at all sometimes. So if this works, thanks to the Sahara, thanks to Africa with those waves of energy first, and this dust coming this direction back from east to west, we may have caught a break here, hopefully a week or two of lesser chances of, or maybe even no storms coming on through if this dust continues. So that's something, again, we're going to have to watch out for. Again, really hoping for a quiet season. We could use a recuperation time frame after what we saw last year with Ian passing on through South Florida, and a good opportunity to kind of catch our breath. It's been a very active couple of seasons for the last 3 to 6 years, somewhere in there, so could use a little bit of help on that. Keeping an eye on what's going on with the environment. We try to bring you each Tuesday a little bit more about what's going on to where you and I can help protect our planet, and there's a lot of things out there on the web that we can take a look at, from contacting our legislators to tell us how important it is to think about renewable energy, green energy, about conservation, about using less stuff, about recycling what we have, making a circular economy if that's possible. So Tuesdays we try to focus again on just overall climate change and what we can be doing to help get the word out and hopefully help our planet remain habitable, which is something I would like to kind of consider sticking around here for several more decades if at all possible. We're currently on a fast track to causing our planet a lot of damage, and we need to reverse that, and we need to convince a lot of people why this is important. So again, this is something really that matters, and we try to feature again some of the stuff that's going on out there. These are links that either have been posted or will be posted on my social media pages, and we go to a lot of different sources out there. Biologist George Sacrakilides, hope I'm saying that correctly, talking about how it's important to get kids involved in finding out more about their environment, about ecology, about preservation, about how they can help when they come of age, helping to correct what we as adults and our grandparents did not do from a long period of time. And they need to get more involved with that instead of just sitting in a classroom. They need to get out and experience nature and find out why it is so important to protect it. From carbonbrief.org, the snow cover in the Alps declining in the last decade or so has been unprecedented in the last 6 centuries, and climate change has a lot to do with that. Also, from tiredearth.com, tiny environmental microplastic particles, the plastic we use from everything from our cell phones to this microphone to the wrapper that you threw away today from your submarine sandwich to the straw that you used once from a fast food restaurant and tossed in the trash. All that has to go someplace, and if it breaks down into, thanks to erosion, those tiny little plastic particles can get into fish, they can get into plants, they can get into the air we breathe. It's estimated that you and I eat a credit card size worth of plastic every single year, and that's increasing as we see more microplastics out there. So it's time to reverse course on plastics and find more areas to consolidate when it comes to waste, and especially recyclable waste. Plastic is going to be poison to the atmosphere, to the food we eat, to a lot of other things, and it does not belong in the human bloodstream. So it'd be nice to get something else on there. Maybe a return to glass, maybe a return to metal. When you recycle an aluminum can, you're saving 95% more energy than you were to just dig the aluminum, the bauxite ore out to create aluminum out of it. When you recycle it, you really help to save energy on that. You can deny this if you want to and say everything's fine. Everything is not fine, and we are doing a good job of going in the wrong direction, and we need to fix that together. Humans caused this waste and heating problem. Humans can fix it. So if you'd like to know more, we'll have more on our website about that for your environment updates, and a ton more of information again coming up in the semi-near future about anything we can do to help out on things like this. Thinking a little bit extraplanetary, if you'd like to be able to send your name to Jupiter on the Europa Clipper mission, which will launch in October of 2024. So you need to get your name, if you want your name to be memorialized on a satellite that'll be orbiting nearly 1 billion miles away from the Earth around a moon of Jupiter, sign up before December 31st, 2023. It'll launch in October of 2024 and take about a year or so to get out that direction. but a good way to see, again, a little bit more about what's going on Europa. This probe is going to spend a good portion of its time studying the moon of Jupiter, which is thought to have oceans underneath a big ice layer, and it's going to fly within like 16 miles of the surface of Europa. So really looking forward to what this probe can do, maybe as exciting as what the Cassini-Huygens probe saw as it went around Saturn. Really looking forward to this to see what's going on. So hopefully we'll get some good news out of this the next few days. Also, don't forget, if you want to go cosmic and think about things a little farther outside the atmosphere, and as cosmologist and astronomer, excuse me, and head of the New York City Planetarium, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson said the dinosaurs never saw their asteroid coming, so what's our excuse? It's important to have a strong science program, and for that we need engineers, we need mathematicians, we need scientists, we need communicators, we need organizers, we need leaders that can understand a little bit more about what we face. This holiday is designed to make certain people are aware of the threat we have, because we live in a cosmic shooting gallery. The Earth, as it goes through space, as it hits debris left over from the creation of the solar system, gains 10 tons every single day just by picking up tiny little bits, usually sand or aspirin tablet-sized particles of meteors that streak through the atmosphere. Somewhere out there, there's another big one that could cause a lot of damage, and we need to find that and others like it. And Asteroid Day is what this is all about. It's designed, again, to focus on June 30th, which is the anniversary of, if you haven't heard about it before, it's called the Tunguska event, where a piece of a comet smacked into the atmosphere over far eastern Russia back about the turn of the 20th century. Amazing damage from that area. It basically had the power of a pretty good-sized atomic bomb. There was no radiation. It just flattened several hundred miles of trees all going outwards like that. And we could see that happen, maybe never, but it could happen tomorrow. It could happen in the next 5 minutes. The important thing is that this is a holiday designed to celebrate math and technology and engineering and science and all kinds of other stuff, because the more we can figure out a way to watch what is out there, the more protected we will be on the only planet we have that we can call home in space. So this is a really cool thing. Talk it up. Visit asteroidday.org. For those who are concerned about the idea that this is hype or schlock or whatever else, you can stick your fingers in your ears and hum real loud if you want to. The basic bottom line is we can't sit there and say, it'll never happen, we don't have to worry about it, it happened to the dinosaurs, but that was millions of years ago, so what? The so what is because we're here now and we can protect ourselves, but if we're not willing to look out farther into the solar system and monitor and track what might be heading our way, then if this thing gets here and we didn't do anything about it, that's our fault, and that could be the last mistake we as a species ever make. So something to think about on that. So find out more at asteroidday.org. Tons of great information available there, and take a look out there for more. We'll do more on science again coming up all over the place in the course of the next several days, weeks, and months. So check that out for you. That should do it for tonight. Again, not looking at too much in the way of major problems. Overnight, Chip will have his forecast coming up bright and early at 5 a.m., so stay tuned for more on that. I'll have your forecast tomorrow afternoon and evening, as per usual, and of course, we'll keep an eye on things. Weather, as always, more details available at wdef.com/weather, and if you want to email me, it's aonek@wdef.com. Be glad to see you. Questions, comments, anything you want to criticize on here, if you absolutely must, go ahead and send that to us. I got a pretty good doozy of an email. If you want to see that, go to my Facebook or Twitter pages last week. That was a whole bunch of fun. If you'd like to know more, again, give us a shout. If you got a story idea, let us know. We can't do this job when it comes to stuff around the community without you pitching in. So if you got something you think would make a good story, please let us know. Give us a shout, email us, go through the website, and find out more again at our website for more details there. I'll be back with Emily Casulo on News 12 at 11, and again, Chip's up tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. Eastern, for an update on the forecast through the rest of the week. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Thanks for joining us for Weather Overtime for Tuesday evening, and stay tuned for more coming up throughout the rest of the week on News 12 on air and online.